All right, guys, now we're here for the sequel for the 2019 film Shazam, which I own right here on 4K Blu-ray. I was really surprised with how much I liked this when it first came out. But now we have Fury of the Gods, the sequel. Is it any good? Well, we're going to talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Shazam, Fury of the Gods movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please give me that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, like I said, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, PG-13, coming in at 2 hours and 10 minutes. The first film was 2 hours and 12 minutes. Let's see if those additional minutes made a difference. I doubt it, but this movie is being directed by Mr. David F. Sandberg, and he did direct the first film as well. And he was like, hey, I think I did a pretty good job. Let me come back and do it again. And if we just scroll down and look at his filmography just real quick, these are some of the films that he was a part of. Lights Out, that was actually okay. Annabelle Creation, I don't remember. I remember I saw the film, but I don't remember. But if you are familiar with any of these films right here, I thought they were good or bad, please let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts were. Now, as far as my expectations going into this film, they were mid to low. I wasn't dreading this movie, but I wasn't like super duper excited. I know that the screening that I got was like the day before the embargo lifted or the day of. And I was like, okay, that's not the best sign right there. But with James Gunn coming in for the co-creator of the CEO of DC, I was saying to myself, if he's getting rid of everything and starting over completely, I really don't have that much stake in this sequel if it's not going to matter. We don't know if Zachary Levi, the titular character Shazam, will be back in his new creation of the live action comics, but we're just going to have to see, and my expectations, like I said, were mid to low. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. The film continues the story of teenage Billy Batson, who upon reciting the magic word Shazam, is transformed into his adult superhero alter ego, Shazam. All right, the first thing that I liked about this movie is exactly what the plot synopsis reads. Billy Batson is trying to adapt as a superhero named Shazam, but he is a boy, he is a child, he is a teenager trying to adapt to all of these powers, this responsibility, and it can be overwhelming. It is a case of imposter syndrome when you feel like you're in a place to where you don't belong, and I can completely understand that. I've been there before. I think we all have, not in a superhero capacity, but when you have Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Batman, Superman saving the world, and of course this is the same universe as that, and they do address it, yeah, you're going to feel some type of imposter syndrome. You're going to have mental gymnastics going all through your head of like, wow, how do I live my life this way? This is a lot. And the great thing about it is it's not that serious. I mean, it is a serious condition in real life, but the way they did it in this film, the tone that they put forth, it was very funny. It was very lighthearted, and it made for a lot of jokes, to which I was laughing amongst everybody else in the auditorium as well. And so that is just a great way to start this film. The next thing that I liked about this movie is not just Shazam trying to adapt to his powers, but the rest of his brothers and sisters in the foster family, aka the Shazam family. All of them are funny for the most part, except for little Darla. That's who Megan Good's character plays. She was just a little too childish for me while she was an adult superhero, but the film does not focus on her too much, so it's not that big of a distraction. But I like how they're trying to adapt to things as well, and I love the display of powers and how they work together. I don't want to spoil anything, but something does happen towards the beginning of the film to where all of the characters, all of the superheroes in the Shazam family have to go save the day. And the way that they are working with each other, the cohesiveness, the way some of them are strong, some of them, or they all can fly, some of them have super strength. They're all using their abilities to the best of their abilities, to the best that they possibly can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not, and they really don't get the respect from the general public that they deserve. I mean, sometimes you can save the world and other people will complain that you didn't do it fast enough. So to see these children posing as adults trying their best to save the day, I thought it was fascinating. It made for a lot of laughs as well. And so I just got to give it another 2 thumbs up right there if I didn't give it the first time. But on a personal level, I still love all the abandonment and trauma issues that Billy Batson is going through. Not only is it funny, but it's also serious because that is something that a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, I really don't know, but a number of people go through in real life. And I like that this is kind of a different take on the character in the superhero film that we haven't got before, or when we did get it in the first film, it is continuing on that story. And guys, what I also liked about this the most is this is a fun, silly, lighthearted, goofy movie. I was laughing from beginning to end, and so was everybody else in this movie. And so if you just want to go in and have a good time laughing and not taking anything too seriously, this is the perfect movie for you. The kids will love it 100%. But guys, that's going to conclude the good about this film. Now let me transition to some things that really did not work for me. And that is the lightheartedness of this film. I felt that while it was funny, goofy, silly, and all of those good things, that's majority of what this film contains. And I want a little bit more than that in my comic book adaptations. It was just so funny at times to where you can't take anything seriously. Now, when it comes to the villains, they were just A-okay. First, we have Helen Mirren as Hespera, and we also have Miss Lucy Liu as Calypso. And they were fine at the very beginning. They did pose a threat. I was like, okay, they're serious. They're taking lives, and they don't care. Get out of the way, or they're going to kill you or turn you to dust. That's fine. But we also have to talk about this other character right here by the name of Rachel Zegler. Her character's name was Athena. I don't know what they were trying to pull off in this film with her character, but it just didn't work. At one point in time in the film, when we were first introduced to her, I was like, okay, I like this character. She's a supporting character that's going to be bouncing off Billy, aka Shazam. This works as somewhat of a love interest. But when we really do get to know her character further on in the story, I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell were y'all thinking? This is horrible. This is not coming across convincing at all, and I don't understand what you guys were trying to accomplish here because this is not working. And then when it comes to her powers, I don't even know what they are. I mean, it was so confusing. It seems like she can manipulate matter or do whatever the hell she wants. She's able to manipulate the location of giant buildings and skyscrapers, and I'm saying to myself, my gosh, if you're able to do that, you should easily be one of the most powerful people on the planet, or if not the galaxy. But the way they treated it was just like an afterthought, and nobody addressed it. And I'm kind of like confused as far as what's going on. Also, I don't know whether she's a good guy or a bad guy. That was back and forth. And even they addressed it in the film and they made a joke about it, but it was really confusing to me and did clock me out a bit. I did not like her character for the most part. I thought it was pointless. I wish she wasn't involved in this movie at all. It just didn't work for me. And so again, I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with her, but it was a big failure in my opinion. And also, I don't like my villains or anybody to be extra petty. And I think that's what the villains were doing in this film. I mean, it seemed like at one point they had already accomplished their goal, and I was saying to myself, okay, why are you still fighting? You can just go home as the winners or as the victors, but they just seemed to still want to do fisticuffs, and that really didn't make sense to me. I also don't like when characters are not fully engaged in the battle. There was too many times in this film, and we have a lot of heroes and villains to where when they're fighting, everybody is not fighting. Sometimes people are just standing there as onlookers, and I'm like, what are you doing? This is horrible continuity in the battle. When there's 4 people fighting over here, I want to know what these other 4 people are doing over here, and not just standing there waiting for the camera to turn back on them so that they can do some type of action. They did that throughout the battles, and they also did that throughout some of the dialogue. When there's so many characters on screen, there's supposed to be like certain characters talking to each other, but they just fall back like they're a mannequin in the background. And I'm like, why are you just sitting there and not engaging in this conversation? It doesn't make any sense. This is bad writing, and it put a horrible taste in my mouth. And also, guys, there are no threats in this movie at all. There was not one time to where I felt like the heroes were in a real peril, like they was in real danger, like they was going to die. It doesn't matter what's going on screen. At one point, there's an entire city being infested with magical cosmic monsters. And nobody seems nervous. I mean, you have some people screaming in the background, but it was all lighthearted. And our heroes don't take it seriously either. I mean, there's a little girl playing with candy when she should be screaming at the top of her lungs, but she's not. And so it's really hard for me to take seriously what's going on screen when the people in the movie don't even really consider it serious. I mean, I just didn't care. You have a ton of CGI monsters, a ton of CGI dragons and special effects, and it just really didn't do anything for me. Yes, it's still fun and you can have a great time, but for me, I don't want to just laugh at goofy, silly moments. I want there to be some seriousness as well. And this film didn't contain that at all, especially in the third act. And also on another note, I did not like the way that regular human beings were reacting to their surroundings. Sometimes they all seem brain dead, like, oh my God, should we run away? I don't know. And it's just like, come on, people won't act like that in real life. Now, it probably sounds like I hated this film, and I really didn't. I had a good time with it. It was fun. It was silly. It was goofy. I was laughing from beginning to end, but at the same time, there was no stakes in this movie. I did not care. And if I never saw Shazam again or in this iteration, I wouldn't be upset, to be honest with you. I still want you to go see this film. If you were excited about seeing this movie, or if you had any interest, still go see the movie and still go have a great time. I'm not trying to tell you, what to do with your time or money, but I would not recommend this to somebody that was not interested. Like, hey, B, I was not really feeling that Shazam movie. It really didn't look good to me. Should I go see it? I would say no. But if you were already excited about this and want to see it, go see it. You'll have a good time. I still had a good time. I just did not love this movie, and I liked the first film, the original, much better. Guys, I'll go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but for now, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this film, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Not this film, this review. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And if you do subscribe, you're going to get movie reviews. I also just posted a number of the Oscar-nominated films that were released this past year, and you can go check all that out. But like I said, movie reviews, spoiler movie reviews, series reviews, a weekly movie news roundup show, Bel Air Season 2, Snowfall Season 6, just posted my latest review for that, so you can check that out. And I also have some trailer reactions as well and a couple of interviews. But for now, guys, if I had to rate Shazam Fury of the Gods out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. Yes, a 6.5 out of 10, which is passing, which is thumbs up. It's not failing. It is fresh, all that good stuff. But hey, it just, I didn't love this film. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.